Hey, it's Belange here. I'm about to host a very special masterclass, but I'm going to record it for you guys, and this is what you're going to watch right now. So without further ado, let's get cracking. How to build a big brand, a big and powerful brand without the big brand budget. And it's going to focus on helping if you're a new entrepreneur and you're thinking about how to brand yourself to make sure that you're around after 2-3 years, or if you have something good going on already and you want to secure yourself and build leverage with building a brand, then you are in the right place. Now, I'm going to go through 7, tactical questions that you need to ask yourself that is going to aid you in this process. Now, I just wanted to throw out something here because this was very important to me as I came through this information. A record new 5.8 new businesses were registered in the UK and the US in the last 2 years, and I've put the percentages here. But 77,000 minority-owned businesses in the UK, and that's about 5.5%, and the rest is white-owned. Now, in 24 months, over 65 to 92% will fail or suffer a slow death. And what does this slow death even look like? Let me tell you right here. Stage 1. This is where you are anxious, excited, talented. You've got your skill. You're on fire. So you start a business. You start posting on social media and you start getting a few sales, and it's like it's all happy days. Like everything is amazing. But then you have no predictable source of new clients and you're not sufficiently profitable. And what I mean by that is that you're not generating enough profits to even enjoy the profits, let alone grow the business. You're kind of just making enough and going with whatever's going on. You have no peace of mind because of that. A business needs money and you need predictable source of new clients. So you're barely making enough to survive, and then the pressure gets cranked up, the stress, anxiety gets cranked up, and you start to kind of lose your mind. And that's where you get into stage 4. You start offering crazy discounts, and you enroll in YouTube University and you start to try and learn everything and anything to just help you get more clients. And if you've been in the business for a year, 2 years, 3 years, you're growing up as well. So life expenses start to increase, but the business doesn't keep up. And then you reach the dreaded stage 5, where you're smiling and you're crying on the inside. Business is slowing down, but the pride of being a black business owner just keeps you going. Or any business owner for that matter. Just that pride of saying I'm an entrepreneur and I work for myself, it keeps you going. And I have been there and have come out the other side to talk about this today. Now, why is branding important? I've put up many quotes here, but I'm just going to mention 2 right now. If your business is not a brand, it is a commodity. That is said by Mr. Donald Trump, and I believe Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, said the same thing. Why is this important? Because many products and services that a lot of us are offering today, let's be honest, they're a commodity. You do hair, well, so does 1,000 other people. You take photos, well, so does 1,000 other people. You're a photographer, videographer, well, so does 1,000 other people. You're a consultant in relationships, well, so is a whole bunch of other people. So companies can no longer differentiate on features anymore because so many people are starting businesses in the same space, and the world is full of commodities. So brand is the only true marketing advantage. And this is the quote by David Cantu, the CEO of Drift here. The whole point here is to tell you that it's okay to have a commodity type business. What's not okay is if you do not learn to turn it into a brand, because when you turn it into a brand, you have something powerful for sustained success, for sustained growth. Now, let's get cracking. Let's get down to the questions. The first question to ask yourself is, what makes you different? Now, why is this question important? Well, it's important because if you have no difference, then you're purely a commodity. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't want to just be a commodity. You want to be a brand. So you need to know what makes you different. Now, here's 5 ways, very quick fire ways that you can lean on to make you different, and they stack together. So the more of these you can put together, the better you are at making yourself different and your offer different. So the first thing is who are you? Now, just to get straight to the point, I've put here Mr. Tony Robbins and Madam Mrs. Kim Kardashian. These 2 individuals have made a name for themselves and for what it is that they do. They are the who of their brand. The things that they do isn't necessarily different, right? Tony Robbins is all about the personal development space, but it's himself, his character, that drives his business. Without him per se, I don't really think he would have a business. So it's a very Tony Robbins driven kind of business. Similar to Kim Kardashian. What she sells ain't exactly groundbreaking or innovative, and that's not taken away from any of these 2 individuals' achievements, but it's them themselves. It's the individual character, their personal brand that carries the weight of their overall brand, that takes them from a commodity to something of superior value. So you need to look at your business and be like, can I be the individual who's driving the business growth? Take a look at Elon Musk. He's another great example. Tesla is a great product, don't get me wrong, but the fact that he's driven its publicity through marketing and branding is an additional layer to building a superior brand. Now, the next thing is what it is that you do. And this one, I put up Harley Davidson's here because what they create in itself is unique. They don't have a who, they don't have a character, they don't have a personality in terms of a real human being. They have a product that embodies the personalities of the people that they aim to please. So that is the what. So this is where it becomes a bit challenging, that you have to create something that is unique. So if you have something that is unique, you can lean on it because no one else is doing what it is that you're particularly doing or making it in that way. It is then unique. Under Armour started with the whole fact that no one else had workout outfit for athletes that did the things that their product did. So it took them to a whole new level because they leaned on it. They leaned heavily on the fact that they were the only people who were doing this kind of material for pro athletes. The third thing is where. Where is your business? Now, if your business is online, this is of course a lot trickier. But if your business is physical, then your location is important. Now, I can illustrate this by the picture that I got up here of a restaurant called The Cliff that I went to visit in Barbados, because everyone said, you know, it's an amazing restaurant, it's on the cliff, get a good time for the sunset, you're not going to regret it. And it was the only restaurant on the cliff. So instantly, it made them different. Instantly, it allowed them to do what I'm about to say next. Looking at the menu of the restaurant, it had no pricing. Now, this was the first restaurant that I've been to in the Caribbeans that didn't have pricing. I'm sure there's many others, but this is the first one I came across. And I know for a fact, if you go to a place and they don't have pricing, then the pricing is pretty, it's pretty up there. So they leaned on it. They leaned on the fact that their location, where they were based, is what makes them different. The food was okay, the decor was okay, but it was where they were. Now, the next one is how, the method. And for this one, there's this black ivory. I believe my picture is kind of covering it. but you see it here, the black ivory, the elephant. This is a coffee brand, and what they've done is, instead of just getting the coffee and roasting it as normal, they get the coffee after it has been digested by elephants. And for some reason, during that process, the coffee gets better. And because of that, they charge 4-5 times what the next high cost coffee charges. And this is what makes them unique. Same thing with Krispy Kremes here. How they do their donuts is a unique method. Same as Coca-Cola is a unique method. And so they lean on it, and it's what makes them different. Finally, it's a trend. So if you are on the vegan trend right now, then it's brilliant. It's something that you can lean on, and it can make you different. And for this one, I also put Zara up, because Zara takes inspiration from the runway, trending on the runway, and puts it in their stores in a matter of weeks, not months, in a matter of weeks. So when something is trending on the runway, you're going to find a design, a inspired design of it in Zara in a matter of weeks. So these are 5 ways you can look at your business, and they stack. Like, as I mentioned, if you look at Tesla right now, they're trending with electric cars. Their founder is the Who, and he's driving their marketing. And what it is an electric car. And there's not many electric car makers, pure electric car makers, on the level of Tesla. I believe Tesla will be like one of the first. So he's got 3 of these things, and it's absolutely paying off for Tesla. It has made Elon Musk the wealthiest person, because his stocks in the value, in the shares in the company of Tesla, is worth so much. So that's the first question. The second question is, what are the 3 words or values to describe your brand? Now, there's many words you can use, but boil it down to 3. The core essence of what it is that your brand stands for or should stand for. And this example, I've put up Nike here. If you look at Nike's mission, it's very simple: to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you're an athlete. So can you spot the 3 values or 3 words that Nike puts on their brand? Inspiration, innovation to every athlete. So now just take a look at everything that Nike does. All of their ad campaigns are their biggest ones anyway, are very inspirational. They love to do things that are innovative, new ways of taking athlete wear into leisure. They were one of the first people to do that. They, of course, created the running shoe. So you can see that they embodied that in everything that they do. So what are the 3 words that embody your brand? And I wanted to mention here that Nike launched in 1964, and they only made running trainers until 1979. So that's 15 years of focus on one product line. So if you're starting out and after a year or 2, you're thinking about the second and the third product line, then you need to calm down. You need to master the one thing that you could be extremely good at. You'll notice that Nike's core values has nothing to do with trainers, but it's bigger than that. It's inspiring, innovating to every athlete. Now, the third question is, what are the 3 words or values that describe your customer? And on the same, let's keep it on the same vein with Nike. Nike describes their ideal customers as people who are courageous, determined, and seek mastery. So the 4th question is, do they match? Are your values in alignment with your customers' values? And can we see these values in your marketing messaging, your materials, and your brand visuals? As I mentioned with Nike earlier, when you look at Nike's campaigns or you look at anything that they do, you see the inspiration, you see the innovation, you see athletes, but you also see courage and determination, and people who want to strive for mastery. And by that, they sign massive sponsorship deals with the masters of the industry. So your LeBron James, your, what's his name, Ronaldo, they sign big contracts with people who are masters in their field, because that's what Nike is all about. So you need to take a look at, what are you about? What are the things that your buyers are really about? Dive into it. You need to know these things, because this is what allows you to resonate with your people and build a brand around your business. And you'll be able to see it in your marketing material. Now, I've put up a few examples of how this plays out. Look at Airbnb's logos. Immediately, you can see their free values. People, place, love. Simple. That's what they are as a business. A people, place, and love. And they reflect that in their logo. So if you're in a rush to make a logo just because you got a name, I would highly recommend you pause and think about what it is that you truly represent, what it is that your clients truly represent, and how you can bring that together in your logo. And here is some advertising. This is a Durex ad. We're all adults here. We know what's good. And the advert is a Father's Day ad, and it says, "Do or dad, the choice is yours." Straightforward, straight to the point. But you get what the brand is about, and you get the kind of values of their particular customer. And this is particularly driven on a Father's Day campaign. But it's clear. There's no rocket science. It's clear. But this only becomes apparent when you know your business inside and out, and you know your customers inside and out. You have a Rolex ad here. You'll be like, well, how do you sell a £40,000 watch? Well, you show your values and you show your customers' values. A Rolex will never change the world. People in position of power, they know this. A watch is not going to change the world. We leave that to the people who wear them. So that is kind of puffery, you know, you're bigging them up, because it's not the watch, it's them. They are the world changers. So the people who wear Rolexes are world changers. And you see here, the image is of someone who looks of clear authority with plenty of microphones around him, as if he's at some sort of press conference with cufflinks. And then if you read it, you will see that they have blended the two together, the value of the brand and the values of their customers. Here's a few other examples. You've got Whole Foods here, and they've blended the two really nicely. Good food can be even better. They have all these other marketing materials that blend their values and their customers' values in such a harmonious way that it's turned them into a billion-dollar company that got bought by even more billions by Amazon. So you're talking to the values of the people that you're selling to, and of course you're keeping your brand strong. But a word of warning: pretty content that is not relevant, not relatable, not scalable or measurable is almost as if you're working for free, especially if you rush, make pretty content, pull it on social media, and hope that one video or that one picture is going to bring you six figures. Don't fall for that trap. Marketing, branding takes some time to get right. You're going to test things, you're going to try things, but don't fall for the mistake of putting out pretty content and hoping that it's going to work, because ultimately you're just working for free for these social media companies. Now, question number 5 is how to trigger your prospect into doing anything. Now, this is where the magic of marketing and understanding how the brain works. Now, the human brain is hardwired to seek these desires: survival, enjoyment, freedom of fear, pain and danger, sexual companionship, comfortable living conditions, to be superior, care and protection of a loved one, and social approval. And if you boil these down, they really come down to recognition, romance, self-preservation, and money. So if you can look at whatever it is that you're selling and go, all right, cool, which one of these can I lean on? Because my customers, that's what they're thinking about when they think of whatever it is that you're selling. So let's look at Nike. Nike is all about social approval, or to be superior is a massive part of it. Survival, enjoyment of life and life extension, 100%, because you're going to have the best equipment to run the race the best. And if that means you win the race, you get more money, and get more money means better chance of survival. So it really comes down to recognition, or more likely self-preservation. So look at what you're selling. What is it that you are really saying? What is it that you are really selling? Take a look at it. If you're in the hair product industry, what is it that you're actually selling? Like, you can lean on quite a few things, but you really need to drive home one of these things. A confused mind doesn't buy. So if you're leaning on romance, then your marketing material is going to show that, right? This amazing hair is what's going to bring you closer to a potential partner. Or is it recognition? This amazing hair is going to get people to recognize you and start a romantic relationship. Or if you're trying to do something low budget or affordable, then it might be money, because it's cheaper than the competitors. Therefore, you're saving money. Or is it self-preservation, living longer because your product has things in it that's not damaging to your health? You're going to have better hair, better skin, whatever. You're going to live longer. But you need to pick one and a secondary avenue and drive your marketing with these things in mind. When you look at Whole Foods is all about living longer, being healthier. It's self-preservation, because that is a human hardwired desire to live longer. Who doesn't want to live longer? So if your advertising or your marketing, your branding, everything all in one is your branding is hitting the right spots, then you're going to build massive loyalty. Now, the final question is how to never be afraid of raising your prices again. Can you raise your prices without things falling apart? That is the sign of a good brand, because great branding separates product from price. That is what great branding does. And if you are able to increase your pricing twice, 3 times higher than the next competitor, then you know you have a great brand. Just look at all the great brands that you buy from and look at another product, and you'll realize that they are twice as expensive, 3 times as expensive, sometimes even 4 times as expensive. But they can do that because they have a great brand. Therefore, you are willing to actually pay for it. So I hope that was helpful, that you got a good understanding of what this whole branding game is. And I wanted to finish it off with this principle. Great brands that focus on compounding effects over time always win. Great brands are not built in a day. They're not built in a week. Great brands are built over time. And you have to factor that in over time. Now, I know many people want to be a millionaire like yesterday, but for everybody else, we understand that it's going to take a little bit of time. Depending on how aggressive you are, it could take you 3 years. It could take you 1.5 years. If you've got the money for it, it can even take you a year. But that's irrelevant. The point is that if you know your values, know your customers' values, know the emotional trigger that you want to aim at, and you do it consistently over a consistent period of time, then you are going to build the most profitable asset to your business, which is loyal customers. Loyal customers stick to brands that resonate with them. Simple. Apple, we all know. Nike, we all know. Football, if you support a team, we all understand it. When you resonate with the brand, it's part of your identity. They're going the same path you are more likely to stick with them. So ask yourself these 7 questions. Thank you for those of you watching on YouTube right now. Thank you. Drop a comment below. And if you want to work with me on helping you build a brand. Schedule a time, should I say. I'll put the link below to schedule a time, a phone call session with me, and we can see if we can work together. So thank you. Hopefully that was helpful to somebody.